Yahweh.
Barakatah 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 Yahweh.
Shalak.
Shalak.
Rayam.
Rayam.
Wah.
Wah.
Einash.
Einash.
Wah.
Wah.
Haragi.
Haragi.
Wah.
Wah.
Mishpani.
Mishpani.
Wah.
Wah.
Gador.
Gador.
Mawat.
Mawat.
Ow.
Ow.
Kor.
Kor.
Adawani.
Adawani.
Wah.
Wah.
Kawaya.
Kawaya.
Wah.
Wah.
Ayab Yanawa.
Ayab Yanawa.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Shalak.
Shalak.
Ash.
Ash.
Ba.
Ba.
Shem.
Shem.
Bayab.
Bayab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Shabar.
Shabar.
Wah.
Wah.
Abad.
Abad.
Ayab Yanawa.
Ayab Yanawa.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Shabar.
Shabar.
Ha.
Ha.
Makai.
Makai.
Shur.
Shur.
Ha.
Ha.
Ayab Yah.
Ayab Yah.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Baba Kashab.
Sar.
Sar.
Ma.
Ma.
Gayal.
Gayal.
Ba.
Ba.
La.
La.
Masapai.
Masapai.
The water.
The water.
The water.
The water.
The water.
The water.
All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashakum like Yoshai. It is to say Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahweh Shai, being named His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Kesadia from W5 Jersey, Philly.
Brother Yatasamak.
Khan, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, the spirit definitely hopped on us to warn you, to let you know what's happening in the earth. We try to do these, regularly on Wednesday nights. Few feast days got in the way of that, but most High willing, we'll be right back with it Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Most High willing. Nevertheless, as you can see from the title of the video, there's rumors of martial law being declared just following the election. You have North Korea, they're sending troops to Russia. You got Iran getting ready to attack the Israelis over in the land of Israel. You got a lot more that's going on in the earth, right? You got a whole lot more that's going on in the earth. And of course, like we mentioned, we want to do our job and through the spirit that the Most High has placed upon us to warn you what's happening in the earth, so that you're not caught out there unawares, right? So I'm gonna get a quick precept, right? And then I'm gonna pass it to the brother. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse 5. Because a lot of people are not talking about this. A lot of people are worrying about the NBA season that just started. They may be worrying about NFL. They may be worrying about stuff with Chris Brown. And there's a whole bunch of things that's going on. You got a lot of things that's going on the earth. But who's really speaking about the current events, the prophecies that's unfolding, right? The scriptures that the Most High is bringing out on the earth. Who's really talking about that? Right, it's not a lot that's even speaking about Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? So how much more the things that's happening in the earth and the prophecies that the Most High said will happen and are taking place? We have to talk about it, right? The Spirit compels us. So this is Jeremiah chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 5: Declare ye in Judah and publish in Jerusalem, say, blow ye the trumpet to the land, or in the land. Cry, gather together, and say, assemble yourselves, and let us go into the defense cities. So the Lord said what? He said, do this in Judah. Do this in Jerusalem. Speak about this. Proclaim this. Let the world know what's happening in the earth, right? Chiefly let our people know. We're not out there talking to Edomites in a corner, and this such and such is going down. I don't give a damn if an Edomite knows or not, but we want to make sure our people know. We want to make sure that you brothers and sisters who staying up 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast, or whatever time you may be watching this on the West Coast. I think they're 3 hours behind, or whatever time you watching this, if you watch it at another time, right? Shalom to everyone that's tuned in. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? But nevertheless, like we mentioned, we must blow the trumpet. We must let our people know. Right, I'm gonna get another precept real quick. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 21, right? Because if you tuning in and you think we're going to talk about the book of Ruth, right? It's not the time to talk about the book of Ruth, right? It's a mighty book, it's a mighty account, but it's a time and season for everything, right? And this time right now was to give you warning and let you know what's happening. It's a lot of like I said, a lot of news, a lot of updates that's happening. We only 7 days away from the election. That's next Tuesday. Let's bring this out in the book of Isaiah. It's Isaiah chapter 21. And I'm going to start at verse 5. I start at 4. It says, my heart painted, fearfulness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure had he turned into fear unto me. And I'll put this out there. A lot of brothers in these last days is having dreams and visions, right? In their sleep, they tossing and turning, waking up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, wiping the sweat off their forehead. I mean, look, there's a lot going on. So let's read on. It says, and it's the times that the Lord, you know, it has to happen now because the Most High said it was going to happen. He told you that in Joel, the 2nd chapter and the 28th verse on down. Right, so let's read on. It says, my heart painted, fearfulness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure had he turned into fear unto me. Prepare the table, watch in the watchtower, eat, drink, arise ye princes, and anoint the shield. For thus had Yahweh said unto me, go set a watchman, let him declare what he seeth. Right, so you got it, King.
Con, that's spirit. You know, let's go to Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 6. I'm starting verse 5. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, an evil and only evil, behold, is come, and end is come. So when you read the book of Ezekiel and you read the 3rd chapter, you read that Ezekiel, he was made a watchman unto the house of Israel. Hey, through the spirit, we're taking on that same role. We are the watchmen that are going to blow the trumpet, that are going to warn the people of a spiritual destruction that's coming, man. It's not, we're not going to be running around with horns in our hands and all that. We're gonna raise up the horn of our voice, man. We're going to continue to do videos. We're going to continue to come out every single week and scream at the top of our voices on the corners to warn our people of destruction, man. We see these things are coming, and all we see is the end of the world, man. All we see is the things that have been prophesied by the Lord from the beginning of times on what's going to come to play in the end times, man. So we have been made a watchman, man, which is what we're going into this Watchman Wednesday, man, to warn our fellow Israelites of the destruction to come. What we need to do, man. Like the brother said, now's not the time to be hopping in the book of Ruth, getting an exquisite breakdown on Ruth. Well, who was Boaz? Let's go into Boaz and what he was doing before he went to the fields, man. We're not worried about that, man, and we're worried about what's going to come to happen in the end times, man. Right now, we're dealing with prophecy, man. Right now, we're diving into the things that we know that's going to happen in the end, man. And when we read in Ezekiel, let's keep reading on that. It says, "An end is come. The end it come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee." So the end is always watching for us, man. And if you're not watching back, man, it's going to swallow you up, man. It's going to swallow you up and you're going to be taken up in it, man. Having no idea what's going on, which is why it's important to watch, man. It's important to state and to note in your brain that the election is next week, man. It's important to state in your brain that North Korea, you know, they sent an interballistic missile tonight, I believe. They tested it, man. And Japan and South Korea, they were saying that missile can hit well close to the far side of the east border of the United States, the East Coast. So we gotta see these things, and we gotta mentally know in our brains and in our spirit, Salakia, that we're at the end, man. Salakia. That's it. But we gotta note that we're at the end, man. And we gotta see these things and move accordingly. We can't see these things and go dive into damn betting, into gambling. Or I want to put $1,000 on this horse. Or next week I want to do this. I want to do that. You know, you gotta see these things. You gotta say, well, what can I do for the Lord? How can I uplift my ministry, man? How can I put more hours in for the Lord, man? How can I fix myself, man? These are times to examine yourself when we see the end coming. It's not the time to run around and party and drink and just get lost in the world like in the days of Noah. So again, we're at the end of the world, and when we do these videos, is to act as a watchman, man, to warn the people and to warn those with an ear to hear that it's the time is come. and the end is watching for us. Let's finish that. It says, "An end is come, the end is come, it watching for thee. Behold, it is come." So remember, we're at the end of the world, man. And we have to see these things, and we gotta take note of every single one of these things. That way, when the end truly comes, when the Lord cracks open the skies, man, we're not taken taken by a damn missile, man, or destroyed in the land of the living. Well, that's all I got, King.
Con, that's right. That's right. I'm gonna get this precept. This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 18, and I'm gonna start at verse 6. St. Luke, chapter 18 and verse 6. And the Lord said, "Hear what the unjust judge saith, and shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect?" So the things that the Most High is doing, that's him avenging his own elect, right? Bringing judgment upon his whore. Let me get a quick precept in Revelation, right? The world is being stirred up to do what? To bring forth bloodshed, right? Destruction, famine. All of this is all marked and set up on high by the Most High to avenge the elect of the Most High, to avenge Yasha'Allah, right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and I want to start at Revelation chapter 11, and I want to get verse 18, right? Verse 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." So the Most High is doing what? It said what? His wrath is come upon the earth, and he's going to judge he's going to judge the nations, but he's going to avenge the blood of the prophets, of the servants, of his saints. And he's going to destroy those that destroy the earth, man. And who is that? I mean, chiefly we understand it's America, right? Chiefly these Edomites that rule in damn dark places. But nevertheless, all of the nations destroy the world, right? They're all out of order. They all made a league together, and that's why the Most High is bringing the world to war. This is not just a small war, a proxy war, right? A regional war. This is a world war on multiple fronts. You're going to have civil wars kick off. You're going to have race wars kick off. You understand? These things are all prophesied in the scripture, and we're going to go into it tonight, Lord willing. Right, so I'm going to go back to St. Luke chapter 18. St. Luke chapter 18 and verse 7. "And shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them?" And the Lord, this is a question. It's a question mark at the end, but it's a rhetorical question. Yahweh Shai is saying, yes, the Most High is going to avenge his own elect. Did you think he wasn't going to do that? I mean, that's how he's kind of talking through the Spirit. Don't read it like the brothers always say. Don't read it like the old Edomite that you might, if you have that Bible app and you playing the scriptures and you got this old Edomite, this old English Edomite, and he's speaking and that's not how the Lord is speaking right here. You understand? You got to understand, first off, this is Yahweh Shai, right? It's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, right? And he speaks with authority. So let's read on. Verse 8. "I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?" And that's what we want to see. We want to see who still believes in Yahweh Shem Shai in his last hour, in these last seconds, in the waning hours of the night, before the light comes. Who still is serving Yahweh Shem Shai? Who's with the Lord? Who is keeping watch? Right. So we're gonna get right into it. Unless you had something you're talking about.
We can get in.
Con. So like we titled the video, there is reports coming out that there is martial law that's going to take place either just before the election or just after the election. There's reports from both sides that either Kamala and the Democratic Party, they're going to kick this off, or even Trump is going to kick this off. But either way, it's reports. Somebody said North Koreans we're going to get into it, brother. We're going to get into it. Let me show this real quick. We definitely going to get into this thing, right? See that? Russia tested their ICBM. Brothers keeping watch. All praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. All praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Someone said they've been getting nuclear dreams this year. Brothers been getting a lot of visions and dreams. Right? All praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? But nevertheless, we're going to go into this thing. So I have a video I'm going to pull up on the screen. Right? Most are willing. Bear with me. Right? Bear with me while we can get this video. Okay, Con, got it. All right, so I'm gonna share this. Now, one of the sources that we like to check out, theirs is it's a couple. It's one of the main sources you can check out on YouTube. It's a couple, like I mentioned, the husband and wife. They're called Redacted, right? And they used to be with Fox News. Let me know if you can see the screen, King.
Con.
Okay, Con. So yeah, it is these guys right here, they're called Redacted. You can check them out. They got about 2.5 million damn subscribers. So they in this thing, but nevertheless, you can check out the full video. I'm gonna just play from right here, the 2-minute mark. They normally do live streams and then they break their videos down into smaller clips. So let's check this thing out. Right, let's check this out. Let me know if you can hear it.
So is your sense that on January 20th?
Con.
Brings back a little.
Whistleblower, former State Department cyber expert Mike Benz is warning that they will not let Trump move back into the Oval Office, even if he wins in a landslide. Watch.
So is your sense that on January 20th, if Trump does win clearly in the election, is your sense that on January 20th, Trump will be inaugurated or no?
This period between November 5th and
Now, real quick, this man that's speaking, can you hear that?
It's on fast forward, King.
Fast forward.
Yeah, it's very fast. I don't know if we got the playback speed.
Well, no, that's normal.
It's on normal.
Yeah, it's on normal.
It's going. I don't know on your end if it's going real fast, but
I'll rewind it. But I'm gonna speak real quick. I'm gonna rewind it though. So this man that you see on the screen, his name is Mike Benz. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he's formerly a part of the CIA in Department of Homeland Security, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me just verify that real quick. This guy real quick, Mike Benz. I know he was deep in damn, what is this guy? I believe he was look this up. Right, bear with me one quick second. Yeah, so he was a part of the Department of Homeland Security. So anyway, this man Mike Benz, he's now a whistleblower, and he spoke before. I think we should, show one of his videos before, but nevertheless, he's speaking about what he's hearing and what he thinks is going to happen from the reports that's coming out about the election and what's going to take place, just before or just after the election. Right. So I'm gonna run this back. Let's go back here.
Because I'm voting in person. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys are planning to do. And meanwhile, deep state whistleblower, former State Department cyber expert Mike Benz is warning that
See, they kind of just broke down what
they
just broke down what he got into. Right. I'm gonna run that back one more time.
yeah, so
deep state whistleblower, State Department.
What's going on, Ken?
yeah, it's either choppy or it's on speed. I don't know. Maybe you put it to 0.5. It might help.
I'm looking. Someone is saying it's choppy. Someone else said it's on fast forward, but hold on. I'm gonna show you real quick. So you click on this, right? Playback speed is on normal, but I'm gonna slow it down though. I'll slow it down even slower.
Let's see if that works.
Come on.
Cyber expert Mike Benz is warning that they will not let Trump move back into the Oval Office, even if he wins in a landslide. Watch.
So is your sense that on January 20th, if Trump does win clearly in the election, is your sense that on January 20th, Trump will be inaugurated or no?
this period between November 5th and January 6th is going to be extremely intense. If Trump wins, my sense is that you will see street paramilitary, left-wing / never Trump, right even potentially. You're going to see this sort of summer 2020 style riot force start to break out on the streets, the media is going to portray them as pro-democracy groups who are protesting the illegitimacy of the Trump electoral college victory. So that's going to shut down the country. It's going to start terrorizing people. It's going to start preventing people from being able to communicate. You're going to see pressure put on the social media companies, extreme pressure put on by the Justice Department, and put on by the advertiser networks. You're going to see this crisis response. It's going to feel like this country is it's going to feel like the day after January 6th for 2 months if Trump does indeed win the Electoral College, in order for them to prime the pump for their extraordinary actions on January 6th.
So that was good. You saw that? You saw that? Or was it still choppy?
It's choppy, but it's a lot more understandable. 100%.
Okay, Con. Yeah, Con. We Satan trying to get in that thing. But
Yeah.
the point is, and we got a few more articles we're gonna bring up, but like we just mentioned, you heard this Edomite, he's speaking damn, what did I mention? What did I want to say? This Edomite, he's bringing up, and again, he's a whistleblower, right? So he has a few different connections with being a part of the Department of Homeland Security, having ties with the CIA, and there's reports that's coming out that following the election, or just to stop Trump from winning the election, and we don't care who wins the election, right? There's if y'all know this sister, her name is Candace Owens. She's been coming out, she's been showing proof that Kamala Harris is actually an Edomite. And we knew that before, but the history kind of got mixed the past few years, and things kind of got not mixed, but what is it? Expunged, right? Things disappeared. Her history wasn't as clear, right? She kind of got rid of a lot of things, but nevertheless, it's been coming out. She's an Edomite. We know Trump is an Edomite. We don't give a damn about those people, but nevertheless, we know how this country is going to act, right? Because the scripture speaks about anarchy. The scriptures speak about an insurrection, right? The scriptures speak about Jacob's trouble, martial law. You understand? And these are the different things that is being resounding, whether on the right side or the left, right? Whether by the Republicans and, those that's quote unquote Trump supporters, and also, of course, those that's in favor of the Democrats and liberalism, right? So let's go into this. I'm gonna get a precept, right? And you can hop right in there, King. Let me get this first in 2nd Ezra, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 14. It's like 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. I started verse 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." So the Lord said the world is marked with the sword. You understand? The Lord has judgment placed upon his land, upon America, upon Europe. There's no place you can run to and think you're going to be able to escape from the hands of the Most High. I can't run to Tanzania or somewhere in Africa and just hide out there and think that judgment is not going to happen even over there. Where's that at in the Bible? Let's read on, though. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." So what does it mean that one people is going to stand up to fight against another? That's clearly showing some type of civil dispute, a civil war, race war. And we understand what's been positioned the past. It's been an entire time over for us being in America, but chiefly the last, I want to say since Obama got in office, things really started to kick up, right? It's been really more of an emphasis placed upon, getting rid of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, right? You had a lot of stuff going on with the police brutality, which caused for the left and the so-called liberals to say defund the police, right? Get rid of the police and so on and so forth, which only caused more attention from the right, the Republicans and whatnot, saying that they want to take back America and restore the old order that it once had. So it's been an anarchy and an infighting on both sides, but it never physically reached its head as it did back in the 1800s with the Civil War, the North versus the South. things like this, though, the election, let's say Trump loses this election, these Edomites are going to lose their damn mind. I mean, right now in the polls, he's winning like 66% to 30-something% to Kamala. She only has in the 30s right now, according to the polling system right now. So fast forward next Tuesday, if this man doesn't win an election, or if he does win an election, what do you think is going to happen in the United States? So let's read this again. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And let alone is this talking about, again, race wars. But we know, let me get this real quick in Isaiah. We know that even their own inhabitants of America is going to go against each other. Americans versus Americans. This is Isaiah chapter 19. And I'll start at verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. What is that talking about? Is that talking about ancient Egyptians? Is that talking about the ancient dark-skinned, damn lanky, what is it? What's this man that played in the NBA? He
Bobo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is it talking about Bobo and his brothers and sisters that's out there in Africa? No, this is talking about the modern day Egypt, right? It's talking about the modern day Egypt as you read the very first verse. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. Right? It's talking about Yahweh Shai coming on his chariot, right? Coming in chariots into America, or coming into the earth, but coming directly to America. It says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Right? This links up with Revelation 19th chapter. Read on. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So what is it speaking about? It's talking about America having what? A civil war, a civil conflict, which is only going to prompt military troops to be on the ground in America. They've been doing these insurgency drills for the past few years, but they just did one last night over the U.S. Capitol. And we're going to go into that and how they can quickly and speedily transport the U.S. Congress into helicopters, military helicopters, and put the troops on the ground in D.C. Like I said, this drill just happened last night, right? So let's not scoff and think that these things aren't going to happen, or these are just what ifs. I mean, they're doing drills for a reason. You go to practice because you're preparing for something, right? You don't just see them NFL players, they just go out on Sunday. No, they're practicing throughout the week. Basketball players, they practice throughout the week. You don't see Sha'Carri Richardson, or whatever her name, I think it's Sha'Carri Richardson. She's not just out there in the U.S. Olympics. She's been practicing. She got to put in that time and that effort. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So the point is, the U.S. military is preparing for something to kick off just immediately following this election. Right? So you got it, King. You want to hop in there?
Okay. Yeah, and Con, and to be honest, through the spirit, you know, brothers can boldly say this is one of the most important elections that are coming up. Not because we're worried about who's going to get in office, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. What we're really worried about and what we're looking at is the kickback that's going to come from either president candidate getting chosen. The brother touched on it. If Trump loses, man, hey, you have a lot of Edomites that aren't going to go for it, man. They're tired of having the United States ran by the Biden the Biden party. Him and his damn people. You know, Kamala Harris, whoever else is with them, they're tired of it, man. And these Edomites, they're not playing games, man. These are those down south, off the border or off the grid, truck driving, shotgun toting Edomites, man. They're not civilized Bob in damn New York, man. So their spirits are getting wild up. They're tired of living the life that they've been living. They feel like America's grip is slowly getting loose. And then you got Donald Trump coming in saying, I'm going to make America great again. So they're wild up for him. Now you got all these people on the other side. They want Kamala Harris to win because they hate Donald Trump. You know, they're protesting. They're marching. They got the signs going. They're waving the signs in the air. You know, they're saying all sorts of things. You know, that, hey, it's about to go down, man. You know, whatever side, you know, through the spirit, what we see, whatever side wins, man, there's going to be feedback or kickback from the other side because they lost, man. Either riots, either people hitting the streets, man, which will cause martial law. These things are important, man. And these things, let's get it. In Mark the 3rd chapter, they're important, man. Because with those things, it's not slight. It's not, well, this argument. It's a slight argument. You know, well, yeah, like they were arguing over damn pizza. What pizza you like the best? You like chicken on your pizza? You like pineapple on your pizza? They're not arguing about that. They're arguing about, well, they're arguing about who they want to run the country, man. Who they want the ruler to be, and they're at odds with each other. And these odds are heavy, man. To the point where they're ready to lay hands on each other, man. They're ready to overthrow a government. They're ready to march up and down the Capitol. These people are not playing no games, man. Hey, do you remember what date it was when they stormed the Capitol?
January 6th.
January 6th. What was that, 2022?
2021. No.
2021.
No, January 6th. Yeah, 2021. Yep.
2021. They stormed the Capitol, man. And you can say those are some of the lower level Trump people, man. There are higher level ones, man. Because if they storm the Capitol next time, they're gonna come with guns, and they're not taking they're not playing no games, man. So when we see these things, man, like we said, we get excited, and we're gonna show you why. This is Mark 3. I'm gonna start at verse. I want to start verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? So whatever side is being sworn in, that's going to take hold of the keys to America, whatever side it is Satan, man. And we understand that. But these other sides are calling each other Satan, man. You know, the rape, they're saying Kamala Harris, she's doing this, she's that. She's saying she can't fit to be led. She hates Christians. She hates Catholics. What would they want to say? And then on the left, they're saying, well, Trump, he's a racist. He's this. He's a rapist. He's boom, boom, boom. He's that. He's going to do this when he gets in the office. Is unsafe. Barack Obama's coming up. You know, so they're trying to cast each other out, man. And that's Satan casting out Satan, man. It's impossible. Whatever way you split it, man, they come from the same ego that has oppressed our people for 400 years, man. More than that, man. So they have to get judged from the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for the actions. That's why no matter what they do, it's going to end up in their downfall. Let's keep reading. It says, Slaki, and it says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So a kingdom that's this heavily divided, it's impossible to stand, man. It's impossible to go on for long. It's impossible to go on any longer, which is why we see these things, and we see that with these divides, it seems like this country is getting worse and worse, man. It seems like the spirits are getting more wild up. It seems like that the tensions are clashing even more because the kingdom cannot stand when it's just divided, man. And the crazy thing is that this kingdom has been divided for so long. So how much closer is it to its end, man? This kingdom has been divided. The brother mentioned, I believe, this kingdom has been divided since the Civil War. Divided since the Civil War. And that's where it all started, man. And that's where that first crack came in, and ever so slowly, that crack keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger till we come up to today, man. And right now we have a kingdom that's divided on whether they want Trump or Kamala Harris in office. And there are odds of each other. And these odds are going to lead to actions, man. It's not going to be they're going to sit back and say, well, yeah, that was a good presidential campaign. I'm gonna take my L, and we'll get him next year. or not next year. We'll get him in the next 4 years. We'll get him next time. No, they're gonna go and they're gonna riot, man. They're gonna protest. There's gonna be problems, man. You know, man, Lord willing, Trump loses, man. I want to see these Edomites come from whatever swamp they came from with their guns, the damn overalls, and the damn the chewing tobacco in their mouth. I want to see them in New York, man. I want to see them in Jersey. I want to see them in Philly, man. I want to see them waving guns and talking about they want to storm damn Central Philly, man. And what's the cheap building in Philly? The damn
City Hall.
City Hall, man. I want to see them say, I want to storm City Hall, man. That'll be one day quicker than martial law, man, when that happens. Lord willing, it does, man. Lord willing. But these things, they're happening because the Lord is causing the kingdom to fall with inside, man. He doesn't need to bring outside forces, man. He doesn't need to overpower Russia, overpower China, overpower North Korea, and have them kick down our doors and say, y'all done. It's going to come first from within, man. Like we read, like the brother brought on Isaiah in the 19th chapter, the Egyptians, they're gonna fight the other Egyptians, man. So it has to crumble it has to crumble from the inside first, and then the outside will come later, man. Well, let's keep reading. It says, Slucky, let me get back to it. And he called unto Slucky, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. So, hey, man, look, this kingdom is at an end, man. We see all these divisions. We see the presidential, this, like I said, through the Spirit, we can definitely attest this is one of the more important presidential elections of all time, man. Why? Because this election has a lot of division, and people are on edge, man. The spirits are getting wild up, man. These are the spirits that the Lord is saying out on the earth to just cause fury and vengeance, man. Like it tells in the book of Sirach, man. You got men killing each other, you know, men just doing what God knows what, you know, all these heinous crimes. These spirits are not playing around. So when they get wild up over this election, and they cause that split and that tension to get to them, man, there's going to be actions behind it. And these actions are going to lead to things as martial law, as them transporting the congressmen out, putting them in the bunkers, hiding them in the holes. You know, they might put out a little message saying that the Black Hebrew Israelites are behind it. You know, we're going to round them all up. You know, these things that can happen, man. So we gotta pay attention to these things and watch. That's all I got, King.
Con, that's right. That's right. I want to go back to Second Ezra real quick. This Second Ezra chapter 15, and I want to start at verse 16. Right? We read 15 and 15. We want to read verse 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." Now I want to go into this word sedition. Right? Let's pull this thing up. Right? Sedition. Because the Lord said there's going to be a sedition that's going to take place in the earth, right? There will be a sedition that's going to take place in the earth. Now, what is this word sedition? What does it mean? Let's pull this up. So it says sedition, conduct or language inciting rebellion against the authority of a state. Well, hold on now. Off the first definition alone, there will be some type of rebellion against the authority of a state. Meaning what? Against the government. And the brother went into it about the January 6th. That's what they try to charge Trump as in invoking a insurrection or sedition. They try to lock him up and throw him in jail because of that. Hey, he just had a damn rally in where was that at? In New York City. I forget, Madison Square Garden, right with a New York Knicks play. And he had about, I believe they said 30,000 people was in attendance. And they said mainstream media was saying that this is I think it was CNN or MSNBC. They were saying it was like a Nazi rally. That's what they were saying. So, I mean, you can already see the lines being drawn in America whether, you know, I mean, we still believe this is two sides of the same coin, but nevertheless, how it's been presented to the average everyday American is that there's one side that's trying to hinder and stop the other side. And however that goes down, we know that there will be a sedition to take place following that. Right? I read a comment earlier. Someone commented and said, oh, don't trust these YouTuber no names every word. Well, brother, clearly you don't know what's going on there. I'm going to put it like that. Because you clicked on the wrong video. Whenever did we trust the every word that an Edomite says? We going into it, we going to the scriptures, we linking it up, we showing what's happening, we bringing out multiple sources to corroborate these things. This is how it's going to be, how we can get the understanding on the things that's happening in the earth. You know, notice we don't make a video on every single thing that happens neither. We need multiple sources to prove these things, and they need to link up with the scripture, right? So the Lord said there's going to be some type of rebellion or insurrection that's going to take place in the earth. And we seeing if there's reports that's coming out saying that these things are going to happen, we link it back up to the scripture and we can see if it's true. Now, whether or not this is going to take place at the election, I can't tell. Whether or not it's going to take place after the election, I can't tell. But what I can tell is that it will happen. Whether it's now, whether it's next year, whether it's a year after that, or 10 years after that, or 20 years after that, the Most High said it's going to happen, so it's going to happen. Right? Let me get this real quick in 2nd Ezra. This 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So these words that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua said will happen, and these things are faithful and true. These things are faithful and true. So guess what? We're going to trust in the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So back to it. It says, an insurrection, rebellion, the rising of a commotion in a state, not amounting to insurrection, conducting, it's like a conduct, tending to treason, but without an overt act. Excitement of discontent or discontent against the government or a resistance to lawful authority. So essentially, it's some type of revolt, disturbance, some type of overthrow or destruction of civil order that was established. So these things, again, this is in the scripture. So let's go back to it in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. The 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16. For there shall be, it didn't say maybe, on a good day, if we just pray enough. No, the Lord said it's going to happen. It says, sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. What is this talking about? Well, for them not to regard their kings or princes, it's the Most High saying that there's going to be an overthrow of civil or authority. There will be an overthrow of authority. Now, I got it. When you read this, there's a lot of things that may pop in your mind. One of the things that I'm thinking about, I don't know if brothers and sisters saw this movie. It came out, it was earlier this year. It's actually called Civil War. I'm going to pull this up. This Civil War movie just came out, right? Just came out. And I don't want to spoil the movie. I don't want to, right? So if you ain't see it, hey, I'm just say it like that. If you ain't see it, it kind of is what it is, right? It is what it is. Now, this movie, like I said, it came out 2024, early this year. I believe actually says over here March. I thought I saw it in June. But whenever it came out this year. Actually, it was April, right? It says it right here, April 12th. That's around the time when I saw it, right? Around the time of it came around the time of Passover. The point of the movie is there's two sides of Americans that's fighting. And in the movie, you get in the sense that it's been something happened already. It ain't really going to it completely, but the president of the United States at the time in the movie, he had to be put in some underground bunker because there's another group of rioters and they're dressed in military gear they're trying to get to this president. At the end of the movie, they kill the president. I'll just put it out. I'm gonna say it. That's the point of the movie, is that they wanted to go target the president and they killed him at the very end. And they standing over his body, they taking pictures, they got their guns. So, I mean, it was a crazy movie. I know I just kind of spoiled it. So if you didn't see it, Salakia, you know, it is, but it is what it is at the same time. Most I willing to check it out, you know, because I would still say, you know, it's a good movie. I may even check it out again if the Lord permits, because there's a lot of themes that you'll see is going to be present in the coming days. You know, they essentially wanted to stop this president from being able to get another term in office. So they took him out the earth. So definitely go out, you know, like I said, go back and check this thing out. But this is not the only time when, I know we mentioned the Civil War that even took place in America, but if you know anything about Roman history, there's been countless times where it was infighting to stop a particular emperor from being in office and ruling Rome. So I'm not going to go to this whole thing, but, you know, go back, look at the Roman civil wars. There was a major war that took place, the crisis of the third century. That was a big deal. I'm going to read a little bit of this article right here, though. So it says, from the establishment of the Roman Republic in 509 BC until the first century BC, there were a sparse number of civil wars. But with the crisis of the Roman Republic in 134 to 44 BC, a period of considerable political instability began. And we can see that over here in America. It's been a lot of political instability. Maybe the last time it was really stable, you know, according to American politics, it may have been since Reagan. You know, maybe Reagan being in office was the last time it was real, you know, things were stable. And even the economy wasn't that good, but at least the American Republic, I think there was considered the most liked president. And since then, it's been a decline. You had Clinton in office, you had Bush and his father being in office, you had Obama and the whole damn LGBT that's pushed ever since. You had Trump being in office and the whole country being divided and split. And then you got Biden, who doesn't even know what day of the week it is. I mean, it's a lot of turmoil that's going on. You got Kamala Harris being damn destroyed by her own, she's a vice president, but the president of the United States, he essentially is saying he doesn't want her to be in office. So you have a lot of things that's going on and taking place. It's been very unstable over here in America. And that's the perverse spirit that the Most High is bringing in the world, chiefly to America, like he says in Isaiah, the 19th chapter. So let's continue on. It says the cause of the late Roman Republic civil wars is contested, as is whether the wars were the cause of or caused by the end of the Roman Republic. And we're looking at the end of the Roman Republic all over again. It ended with infighting. And guess what? America is going to end with infighting. Let's continue on. Regardless, a nearly constant stream of civil wars marked the end of the Roman Republic and heralded the rise of the Roman Empire in 27 BC. The first century of empire, it could have did that better, was marked by widespread revolt through territory Rome had captured in the preceding centuries. It says the 2nd century CE was relatively peaceful with a limited number of revolts. Political instability returned to the empire with the crisis of the 3rd century in 235 to 284 AD, which saw at least 26 civil wars in just 50 years as usurpers sought the imperial throne. How the hell did that take place? 26 civil wars in 50 years. Half the time of those 50-year period was damn infighting. Someone taking someone out, backstabbing. They damn killed Julius Caesar, his own men. Stabbed them all in the back. I remember in high school we had to read a book about this man. I didn't care about this man, but we had to read it. Why you over here? You said what, King?
Real quick, that was all we learned about in high school. Julius Caesar.
In the Roman Empire.
Yeah, he was harped on.
Right.
How he got backstabbed, but kind of.
I think it was what is it? I don't even want to recall that, right? I'm not going to try to recall those words that we had to remember from a damn book about Julius Caesar being killed. Madness. But nevertheless,
I had to watch a movie on it too.
We did have to watch that movie, black and white.
Right. Yeah, the black.
Black and white. Madness. It says the 4th and 5th centuries AD were characterized by a regular rising of usurpers. This is a regular thing that was taking place towards the end. 4th and 5th century. Remember, Rome ended in 476 AD. Let me continue on. It says the overthrow of the last Western Roman emperor, which was who? Romulus Augustus. In AD 476 by the Germanic king. Remember, Germany was a province, a Roman province. So you had Rome that fought against Rome. By the Germanic king Odoacer marked the final civil war or revolt, as well as the end of the Western Roman Empire. And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at it right now. The end of the Western Roman Empire, all over again. All over again. Let me go back to this in Revelation. It's like 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading another, kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Let me get another precept on this. So the Most High said these things are going to happen. All you can do is do your due diligence and make sure you keeping watch. Right? You keeping watch. You're looking at what's happening in the earth. And really, I mean, now, not to say you shouldn't have been keeping watch before, but now is the day. Right now is the time to be on your spiritual watchtower, beholding everything that's happening in the earth. Because this is the major event that happens in America every 4 years. Them picking the next president, and I mean, it's already planned and preordained, but nevertheless, this is a big deal, right? This is a big deal in America. So be on your P's and Q's. Keep your head on a swivel, right? Keep your head on a swivel. This is 2nd Chronicles chapter 15. 2nd Chronicles 15, and I'm going to start at verse 6. I'll start at verse 5. 2nd Chronicles 15 and verse 5. And in those times, there was no peace to him that went out, right? There's no peace about to happen to this earth. You understand? It's not about to get better. This thing's about to get worse. We're talking about martial law about to take place. That's things getting worse. You've been rounded up. They're talking about silencing the media. People that's on platforms, if you're going against the government, you're considered what is it called? A dissensionist, right? Meaning you want dissent. You want dissension to take place. You're a rebel. You're against the regime. You understand? Hey, Trump said when he gets in office, he's going to round up he has military ready, and he's going to round up all the so-called illegal immigrants and send them back. Then they may just say that you're an illegal immigrant. They got the power to do that. They can say your Social Security was faked. Your Social Security status in America was a fake, and you crept in a border. And they got a damn AI video of you creeping in the border. They got an AI video of you saying that you're going somewhere and you're going to do this attack on American soil. You don't think they're able to do those things? You don't think that's in their minds and how they can try to overthrow us and get us out of here? You don't think they hate watching these videos and these videos popping up on their YouTube and they can't do nothing about it because it's not the time yet? You don't think they hate that? You don't think they're listening to you on your iPhone? Got a lot of Jake, they let us say, oh, you got the blue messages, I'm not talking to you. You don't think that iPhone is listening to you every word, brother? Siri? You go on certain websites, damn, what you was thinking about, it pops up. How is that happening? Because everything is in our algorithm, and this is all preordained that they're going to eventually be given a chance to overthrow us. And it may be some type of false flag and so on and so forth to overthrow you. And it, in their mind, shut down the Hebrew Israelites as if they can do that. You had a point, King?
Yeah, real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Let's touch on that.
Come on.
Let me know if you see it.
Con, you in there, King?
Con, did a quick Google search.
See that?
It says, yes, in some cases, the U.S. can take away citizenship, but it's rare. This is denaturalization. This is an involuntary loss of citizenship for naturalized citizens who acquired their citizenship illegally, lied during the application process, or were not eligible for naturalization. Denaturalization is rare. Voluntary renunciation. This is when a citizen intentionally gives up the citizenship. Now, here's the one we're looking at. Loss of nationality. This can happen when a citizen performs certain acts, such as running for public office in a foreign country, entering military service in a foreign country, applying for citizenship in a foreign country with the intention of giving up U.S. citizenship, and here's the one, committing treason against the United States. So like the brother said, they can say whatever, man. They can say that we committed treason by saying the things that we say and call for a mass deportation of all of us, man. Or a mass roundup in damn FEMA camps, man. Or a mass roundup in immigration camps, which would be formed as FEMA camps. We don't know, man. These things, they can happen, man. You know, like we said, it doesn't matter which regime is put in, man. Whether it's a Democratic with Kamala Harris or Trump with the Republican, man, anything can happen, man. It's decided. It can go either way. But I want to touch on that quick point, Cam. You got it.
And there's nothing new. There is nothing new. Didn't they do that to the Apostle Paul? Right? And let me get this real quick in the book of Acts. Right? It's nothing new. And you see that? If you can actually bring that back up on the screen, Baba Kashah. Right? Because treason, they can say, I actually want to read that. If you can pull that back up while I get this precept. This Acts chapter 16, and I want to get, we can get, let's just start at 13. Let's start at verse 14. Acts chapter 16 and verse 14. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, worshiped God, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attained unto the things that were spoken of Paul. I'm going to jump down to verse 16. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God, which show unto us the way of salvation. And this did she many days, but Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of Yahweh Shai Mashiach to come out of her. And he came out the same hour. Right? So we understand that Paul, he rebuked the spirit. It's the same thing as brothers going out on the highways and byways and teaching. And there's demons that come up, scoffers that come up, and we rebuke those spirits. And this must have been a big deal for the following event to take place. Sometimes you out there on the highways and byways and things go down. Right? Things go down. Let's read on though. It says, verse 19, and when our masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers and brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men being Jews do exceedingly trouble our city. And they can say we trouble in our city. When you read on this thing the brother pulled up, it says one of the ways you can lose your citizenship is loss. It says running for public office in a foreign country. They can say that we're running for a foreign office in the land of Israel. You guys say you're Hebrew Israelites. You really won't be in the land of Israel. You're no longer American citizens anymore. They can say that. Don't they tell us to go back to, they tell us to get out of this country and go back to Africa. They be saying that sometimes. How much more us saying that we're God's chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. It also says entering military service in a foreign country. Well, hold on now. Aren't we a military or a camp or army of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai? Don't we, aren't we out there in cargo pants and, we holding posts They can say these things, right? And this is not far-fetched. We've seen them do way more with way less. That's how America operates. They got into the Vietnam War by putting out this article that their ship got bombed by the Vietnamese, and it never even happened. The ship wasn't real. It never happened. The Vietnamese never bombed it because there was never a ship over there. But nevertheless, they used that to get over into the war in Vietnam in the 1960s, just so they can set up democracy, so they can be able to shut down the rise of communism over in the East. America's always been doing these wicked things, right? But let's continue on. It says applying for citizenship in a foreign country with the intention of giving up U.S. citizenship. Well, aren't we having the intent to leave America? And we tell our brothers and sisters to, depart from the woman, roughly paraphrasing in Revelation, the 18th chapter. Now, we talk about on a spiritual level, but nevertheless, we know physically we will be out of this land and back in our own land. So they can try to use that and frame us to take away our citizenship, and we could be deported, be kicked. We could be somewhere in Brazil when it's all said and done, in the Amazon rainforest, and we see chariots swing above us and we get beamed up. Don't think you're just going to be a Babylon the whole time. You stocking up cases of water. You got a bug out bag by the door. It's going to be a time coming. They're going to take you. They're going to grab you, and they're going to bring you to a place where you don't want to be. And you in a damn dungeon somewhere. Right? So it says what else? Committing treason against the United States. And that's a very broad thing, because anything can be considered treason. If you speak out against the U.S. government, that's considered treason. Us making this video right now can be considered treason. You teaching on the highways and byways can be considered treason. Right? You throwing up the blessings for Israel, the curses for the nations, that can all be considered treason. They already say you're a racist. They already say you a hate group. How much more? Is it just like that? They can flip a switch and say you're no longer a U.S. citizen. Then they can do whatever they want to do to you. They got prisons for non-U.S. citizens. It's some of the worst prisons on earth. Damn Guantanamo Bay. All those Arabs during the time of 9/11 and things that was going on, they was damn over there torturing them men, putting waterboarding them, putting a bag over their head, damn pouring water on them. There's a movie called Safe House. They did that to damn Denzel Washington in that movie. They say he wasn't a U.S. citizen. He fought against the U.S. He was a part of the CIA. He found out some things, so he tried to depart, and they got him. They caught him up. They damn said he's no longer a U.S. citizen. He was committing treason, and they waterboarded him. And they try to keep him in a safe house so they can get rid of him and take him out. They got movies on this. So it says committing treason against the United States. Now hold on. It says extended periods of absence from the U.S. can also trigger inquiries from U.S. authorities. However, maintaining ties to the U.S., filing taxes, and participating in U.S. elections can demonstrate a continued commitment to citizenship. Now, hold on. Us Hebrew Israelites, we're not voting in this election. They can say, they might knock at our door the following day. Hold on. You did not vote for neither party in a U.S. election. Why didn't you do that? And we may say, you never know what we're going to say. The Lord put it in our spirit in that day. But let's just say we said, look, we don't believe in this U.S. System. They said, well, what do you mean you don't believe in the U.S. system? And you never voted. They grab you up and they damn throw you somewhere with a black bag over your head. And they take the bag off your head and you look up and you in a damn dungeon. Then they strap you to a chair. And they're trying to perform tests on your mind and see who is Yahweh and who is Yahweh Shai. And they torturing you. And you calling upon the Lord, and the Lord turn all the lights out and he beam you up. That may just take place. But I didn't see this until you just pulled it back up. It says participate in U.S. elections can demonstrate a continued commitment to citizenship. Well, what will happen if you don't participate in these elections? Let's go back to Acts. This Acts chapter 16 and verse 20. Acts 16 and 20. And brought them to the magistrate, saying, These men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city and teach customs which are not lawful for us to observe, so I can receive, neither to observe, being Romans. So, hey, they said Paul was a treasoner, committed treason. That's why later in the 24th chapter, in the 25th chapter, he had expressed that, look, I'm a Roman, right? To try to get himself out of the situation, using wisdom, using guile, right? But you had another point, King, you wanted to bring out?
Nah.
It's a few more I want to touch on when it's an election, right? It's a few more I wanted to touch. I actually want to get a few more real quick, and then we're going to pass it. We can go to the next topic, right? But it's a lot going on with this, so I want to get this real quick. Now, this is something that came out. Let me pull this up. This is something that came out a few. Actually, I'm gonna get this first, right? Because we talked about it. So, pull this video up. Now, like I mentioned, there was an evacuation drill at the Capitol. Now they're saying this took place on the 21st, but the video is the 28th, just 2 days ago. It says yesterday, so there's an evacuation drill that took place at the Capitol, but also they held an emergency response exercise with dozen or so military helicopters. Let's check this video out. It's about 1 minute. We don't need that audio. You know what that is right there. Right? So you can see someone that they're in DC, they're seeing these choppers. This is not a normal thing, you know, not to my knowledge, where there's multiple military helicopters going to and fro on the U.S. Capitol. And again, I'm going to show you another article of this. Now, this is the evacuation drills that took place. This is on the 21st. Let's check this out.
When I woke up this morning and got on X, I saw that the Capitol Police had posted that they were having an evacuation drill.
You can clearly hear in the background. Hey, King, can you hear this? Or is it too low?
Not the background. I can hear the woman speaking.
Okay, and I'm gonna turn it up a little bit if I can. I don't know if it worked like that. Let me see. But there's like a, you know, that damn drill, that fire alarm drill, that little sound that's playing in the background. So there's a little test that they try and do to evacuate the Capitol. Why would they try to do that on the 21st? What's about to take place soon in the U.S. Capitol?
This morning, so I'm here so early. There's a bunch of police down there. Damn, I can't even. I can zoom in. Zoom in.
Right, you can check out. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. You can check the rest out.
Where or what or any.
Here's the person right here. If you want to check it out, you want to pause the video and look at it yourself. But there was something else I want to get really quickly. Right, so we're gonna spend a whole bunch of time on this, but so this was another source that's corroborating this. An emergency response drill was conducted in Washington, D.C. 12 military helicopters participated in an evacuation training exercise near the U.S. Capitol. Right, so again, some things, you know, getting ready to take place. We want to be on our P's and Q's. Now, there was one other thing I want to bring out real quick, like I said before we continue on with the rest of the live. So there was a DOD, which is Department of Defense. There was a directive that was that came out, I believe it was September 27th, right? It's actually right there. I had another website pulled up. You can check this out on your own as well. But the DoD directive 5240.01, which is going into, it says defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Let's see what they changed in this new document. So if you look over here and I highlight it, it says assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing a requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, right? Which is what? Using the guns, right? Using damn whatever, lethal force, killing. It says including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civil law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force must be in correspondence, or it's like coordinates with the DoD 52110 or 10.56, potentially as further restricted based on the specifics of the requested support. So what is that saying? It's just saying in the event of something taking place, they're giving authority now to all law enforcement, whether military or police officers, to be able to kill civilians. That's plain. In Esau, they love to get down with this their legislation. They're big in this legislation, right? The Lord told you that. Let me show you that real quick in the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter. This Daniel chapter 8, and I want to start at verse 24. It says, in his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So who's this he's talking about? He's talking about Esau. And the rulers that be of America, they're given power to destroy the Israelites. This time period is known as Jacob's trouble, the fifth seal, right? Let's read on. It says, verse 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. So he's only going to do certain things through his policies. This is why they have U.S. diplomacies. This is why they have embassies set up in different countries, because through the American system, they're able to do certain things in the earth. And one of the things that they had to pass before they can do it is the ability to use lethal force on civilians. They passed this swept under the rug. No one's really talking about it, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Let's read this again. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and shall magnify himself in his heart. He thinks by him passing this letter, this bill, that they could just get away with things. They could just kill the prophets. I mean, they're not, who are they really talking about? They're not talking about an average everyday Edomite. This is really targeted for the Hebrew Israelites. Let's continue on. It says, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. So the Lord said, hey, these things are ultimately going to be to their downfall and their demise. But you got it, King.
Yeah, Con, a quick precept on that. You know, I didn't even know about that bill. Like the brother said, they tried to slip that in there, man. And these things are all for a reason, man. You know, that like the brother said, that bill isn't for, you know, Joe the Edomite. You know, it's for us, man. It's to kill the prophets. It's to kill the men that are coming out on the streets and even in the homes and professing the name of the Lord, man. Day in and day out. Kinda. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I seen that. That was a movie. Check
White
that out.
Down? Is it White House Down or White Down?
It's called White House Down. They this
Oh, I
group
saw that
attacked.
one. Then. Yeah,
Yeah, con.
calm.
I'm about to spoil it.
That was a good one. Calm. But this is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." And that's an unrighteous decree right there, man. And we know it's for a reason. We know it's for them to overthrow the prophets, man. We know it's for them to lay their hands on us, according to the law, man. According to the law. Because that's their power, the law and the philosophy and the religions. That's their power, the power. So these men, they're coming after us, man. These men, they see these things, they see us rising up, and they work behind closed doors to overthrow us. And they do these things behind the closed doors, set up these these decrees. They do all these what do you call it? With the video with the helicopter. Drills. Yeah, they do all these drills. They do all these things because they know what they want to do in the mind, man. They know what they want to do. Let's get a quick precept. So when you see these things, man, you shouldn't be trusting in the world, like we brought up before, man. Now is not the time to be looking at these things and say, well, man, I think we got another 10 more years, man. No, we don't see these things. Let's get Isaiah chapter 30 and calm. Isaiah chapter 30, let's start verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh." You got a lot of Jake. They're talking about voting, man. They're talking about making this country better, man. We gotta do what's right. Jake, you gotta see these things. You gotta realize that it's over, man. We gotta realize that America, it's done, man. And us in the truth, we gotta realize that even much more, man. If you're in the truth, they're out to get you, man. You're not gonna if you're buddy with America in that day, man, you're gonna be destroyed. So we gotta understand that these are truly our enemies, man. This is truly a place where we were sent for a punishment, and after we came out that punishment, this place is set for destruction, man. So there's nothing to be trusting in, man. Like it's going to talk about in this chapter. Let's keep reading. It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You got a lot of men that trusting in the shadow of Egypt. Got a lot of men and women that run into the ballots. They're talking about we got to vote, man. Every once in a while in Philly, you got it's always Jake too. It's either Jake or Eve. They walk around with a clipboard asking if you want to vote, asking can you sign up to vote, can you do this, can you do that, and they come up to us a couple of times, man. They kind of learned a lesson, but they used to come up to us, man, and ask us to vote with clipboards, man. Say we have to. It's for our betterment, and it's always Jake and Eve talking about it. These men and women, they trust in the shadow of Egypt. And when you trust in the shadow of Egypt, a place that's supposed to be destroyed, man, you're gonna be confounded. You're gonna be ashamed. It's gonna say that. Let's keep reading. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame." So when you thought that voting, that these elections, that a certain candidate is going to help America, is going to be your shame. And a lot of men are going to be ashamed in that day. They're going to be confounded too, because they thought that their candidate was gonna do this and do that, and they're going to find out that wasn't the case. The Lord has something set up for this kingdom. It doesn't matter which candidate gets inside, man. The Lord, he's going to use that candidate to further destroy America. Let's keep reading. It says, "And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them." So you don't want to be ashamed in that day of people that can't profit you, man. You don't want to be ashamed because instead of hanging up your Bible, you were worried about something else. Talking about, man, I hope Donald Trump, I hope he gets in office and gives me a stim. I can't wait for that $2,200 stim. Instead of $1,200, it's going to be $2,200 this time. I can't wait for that stim. I can't wait for this unemployment check he's going to give me. He's talking about cutting the taxes. Donald Trump. Don't be that man. You're going to be taken up you're going to be taken up. You're going to be in confusion because you thought with Donald Trump taking away, I think he has taking away taxes for overtime. And you're like, well, I work a lot of overtime. I can use that money. Well, you trust in him, you're going to be ashamed, man. You will be ashamed. Let's keep reading. It says, they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but ashamed and also reproach. So that will be your reproach in that day, man. It'll be your reproach because you saw all these things. You saw the signs. You saw all the things going behind closed doors, the back doors. You see the division. You're warned about the division. You're warned about the kickback from that division. And instead of doing something, spiritually, you decide to sit back and say, well, America got it, man. They're going to figure it out, man. Don't be that brother. Don't be that sister. See these things and take note of them, man. See these things and prepare yourself accordingly. Like the brother was going into, man. They're coming out to kill us, man. You have to prepare yourself accordingly. You got to put that in your mind, and you got to think about how you're going to move in that day, man. Not just take it day by day and say, well, wherever America moves, I move. That's off, man. Well, if America's good, I'm good. And when America's bad, I guess I'll be bad then. Don't be like that, man. Be the brother that's always looking for America to fall any single day. Like the brother stated, we're not saying that when election comes, America's falling 100%. We're not saying that, man. We're saying that it's very likely it can happen, man, because we're at the end, man. It's very likely something could pop off, man. You gotta be ready at any moment, man. As soon as man, we can go 20 minutes into this live and get cut out, and Jacob's trouble's right here, man. That's the mindset you gotta have in this truth. So don't be the man that's confounded because you're just trusting in Egypt. You're saying, well, they always bounce back. I saw how they bounced back with the port strikes. I saw how they bounced back with COVID. And now you're just becoming a wicked man that's rooting for America, man. When you see these things, always ponder upon destruction and think about your next move. Well, that's all I got, King, on that.
Khan, did you want to talk about this in North Korea? I know you mentioned it earlier. Let's get it.
Let's get into it. Khan. You want me to start off, King?
Yeah, Khan. You got it.
Khan. Yeah, let's get into it. Go where I can find this. But as I find this, I'll just talk a little bit. Through the spirit, we all been watching that North Korea, their movements are getting more and more into the movements of them having a military unification with Russia and attacking America. It's getting more and more like that. As brothers and sisters should have seen, Russia, they joined forces with I think I said Russia. North Korea joined forces with Russia, man. They sent their troops over into Russia, and they're doing they're doing the thing over there, man, as a joint military group, man. And they're on the back end of that too. Russia or North Korea, they're testing missiles, man. And they're talking a big talk, man. And they're now gathered along with Russia, talking this big talk, testing these missiles, man. They're causing unrest within America, and America's knowing it. So let's pull this up real quick. Let's pull this up. Let me share my screen real quick.
Con, I want to make a quick point.
Con, go ahead.
someone had brought it out just a little bit earlier, but America, they're condemning the ICBM nuclear missile launches that North Korea just launched off. So, I mean, they don't like that. They don't like the fact that not only are they sending troops to help out Russia in Ukraine, right? They're sending their troops, and we're going to show articles on that. But also, they're launching and testing nuclear missiles. North Korea, they always been kind of uncontrollable. So, you know, I mean, a lot of times they're the loudest one in the room, but hey, they may just be one of the ones to do something, right? So you definitely want to keep watch on all fronts, whether it's over here in America with this impending election, as well as what's going on between Israelis and Iranians, as well as North Korea, South Korea, and North Korea helping out Russia and China to send troops to Ukraine. So it's a lot going on, right? Lord willing, the brother gets back in there, right? But like I said, there's a lot going on the earth. Let me get this precept, right? Lord willing, the brother gets right back in there, right? But we know what the Lord said. Let's go to the book of St. Mark, 13th chapter. This is St. Mark, chapter 13. And I want to start at verse 4, right? St. Mark, chapter 13 and verse 4. Tell us, what shall these things be, and what shall be the sign when all these things should be fulfilled? So you had the apostles, they asked you, how was shy? Look, tell us, when is all hell going to break loose, right? When is these signs going to happen? When is judgment going to be brought forth? Really, ultimately, when are you going to restore the kingdom back to Israel? Right? Then they asked that in Acts, the first chapter. Let's go to that real quick. This Acts chapter 1, right? Because we know that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And they understood that precept. They understood that prophecy, right? Because that was written, you know, prior to them, right? And they had understanding of that. It's the book of Acts chapter 1 and verse number 6. And when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And then, you know, we understand that Yahweh Shai broke down to him, look, it's not that time yet, right? But let's go back to Mark, the 13th chapter. Then you got it, King. This same Mark chapter 13 and verse 5. And Yahweh Shai answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And when you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Right, so you got it, King.
Come. And I was gonna pull up but you did touch on it. How they're condemning the United States are condemning all these damn tests that they're doing, man. And the thing is with North Korea, when you're looking into it, man, you know, they're like the brother said, that they're talking a lot, man. And the talk, you know, it's big talk for lack of better terms, man. You know, when you see where they fire these missiles, they're firing it in the seas of Japan, man. You know, it's not like they do a little quick missile and goes somewhere near North Korea and, you know, no one knows about it. They're firing it straight near Japan, man. And we're going to pull this up. You know, we're going to pull this up.
I had some too.
Come. I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to get two right here. Now, this is a tweet. Let's pull this up.
You on there, King?
Come. Now, this is a tweet that Endgame World War III reposted. So I came across it. It says South Korean and Japanese defense officials state that the intercontinental ballistic missile launched tonight by North Korea may be able to reach well beyond the east coast of the United States. So when you look on the map, you know, that's what they'll be shooting for, the east coast. Or Slucky, I believe it's the west coast.
Well,
if I'm not mistaken. If the closest of the two is the west coast.
Well, listen. So the closest is the West Coast, but if they're saying they got a missile that can reach the East Coast,
right? Yeah, right. That's the point.
that's
It's saying
wild.
that well beyond the East Coast, meaning that they got the range. That's wild. The closest that they can get to is the West Coast. That's the closest they'll be shooting for. But now it's coming out that it can reach beyond the East Coast. And you know, when you look at a map of the United States, man, you know, the West Coast, you know, you got California, you know, California, you know, Los Angeles, maybe San Francisco, you know, we'll throw Seattle in there, you know, maybe Las Vegas, you know, but you know, East Coast is where they want to hit. You know, you got some big cities over there, man. You know, you got New York. That's a major city in New York. You know, you got different parts of Florida. You got Georgia, with Atlanta. You know, they're different cities. So the East Coast it's a 100% a bigger target for a missile, man. Because when you look at when you look at the population maps of America, I believe it's a skewed number. I believe it's like 80% live on the East Coast, and like 20, it's like 80 something and 20 something on the other. You know, something like that. Some crazy number. I want to say 70 something to 20 something. Just so the numbers add up. That live from the East Coast being a high number, and then the other is on the West Coast. You know, so the East Coast is where you want to hit. So now those reports are coming out. You know, after North Korea joins Russia, you know, after that they join their military, and they do military. They're doing military required action with them, man. You know, after there's reports saying that the tension of North Korea and South Korea is at an all-time high. You know, they were talking, I believe this was like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. You know, they were talking about, I believe, closing the border. So no more open relationships with the border. No going down there to talk. It'll be, look, if you come down here, it's on site, man, we'll shoot you, man. You know, this talks about that. So tension with North Korea and South Korea is at an all-time high. And to note that South Korea, you know, they're an alliance to the United States, man. They're an ally. You know, so they're at an all-time high. North Korea is shooting missiles near Japan, who's an ally of the United States. You know, United States is not happy with it. And now, you know, to top it all off, you know, they go and join Russia, man. And Russia's gathering people towards them, man, that hate America. So these things, it's kicking off, man. We see these things and it just makes sense. You know, it makes sense when you read these things. But I have one more. So
I got a quick point.
Oh, go ahead, Ken.
2 things. I looked it up from an article. It is 80% of the U.S. population is in the East Coast, and 20% is in the West Coast. And California alone makes up 60% of that 20% portion of the West Coast, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You also have Washington, D.C. in the East Coast, which is, of course, their military hub. So that's a very big deal, as well as even Florida. Florida has a U.S. CENTCOM, which is over, which pretty much is the hub or base that controls all the troops that station, U.S. troops that stationed over in the Middle East. So that's a very big deal. Russia is big, you know, very big for the U.S. military. It's like not Russia, but Florida is very big for the U.S. military. So that's something to watch over as well.
Right, Con, yeah, see that, you know, and that's real important. So if they are able to hit, as far as like brother said, Florida, and I believe what's that place in Florida? It's like something key, or is it Fort Lauderdale? Which one?
It's Fort Lauderdale, and right near, I believe it's either Fort Lauderdale or Tampa. One of the two has that
has that big base. Yeah, right. But regardless, Florida will be a key state with America's military, man. You know, New York is a key state with the population. You know, you got Washington D.C. You know, so there's some big targets that an enemy of America will want to hit, man. No, they're not. They're not looking to hit Montana, and and bomb the 30 people that live out there. They're looking to hit somewhere big, man. The same way America hit somewhere big, man. When they bombed Japan, they hit 2 big cities. They hit 2 big cities, and it was precise. But I'm trying to find this article I had pulled up. You might have to get in there while I find this out.
So I have this pulled up. This from the AP News, very reputable source, of course. So it says North Korea has sent about 10,000 troops to Russia to likely fight against Ukraine, the Pentagon says. So 10,000 troops, that's not a small amount of troops. That's a damn militia. Now, them sending these troops over to Russia, you already got Ukraine. They've been begging and pleading and crying and damn near praying and asking to join NATO, and they still haven't been able to join NATO. Well, this is something you want to keep watch over, because now you got North Korea getting in this thing. How much longer until you see China get in that thing? Hey, Ukraine, they just a front. America just using Ukraine to continue to, I guess, pretty much test Russia and try to get Russia to start expending some of its troops, getting rid of them, get most of his rockets and whatnot. Because America knows they can't go toe to toe with Russia. That's why they're doing all of this. That's why since 1991, the fall of the Soviet Union, it should have been that NATO disbanded, because NATO was only created to fight against the Soviet Union and prevent Russia and the Soviet Union from continuing to expand. So once Soviet Union broke apart and all the proxy countries of the Soviet Union broke off from Russia, it would be no point of NATO no more. It shouldn't have been another, purpose for NATO to be around. But it's ultimately to stop Russia from being in power, because they understand that the prophecy is for them to be the last ones. But they think in their mind that they can overthrow the counsel of the Lord. Right? This is why all this is happening. You got these different sorcerers and men behind closed doors that's trying to study the prophecies and shut down what the Most High has ordained. So I'm going to read this real quick. This is Brussels AP. North Korea has sent about 10,000 troops to Russia to train and likely fight against Ukraine within the next several weeks. This just took place 2 days ago, 3 days ago now, right? It says the Pentagon said Monday in a move that Western leaders say will intensify the almost 3-year war and jolt relations in the Indo-Pacific region. Some of North Korean soldiers have already moved closer to Ukraine. Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Sai said, and were believed to be heading for the Kursk border region, where Russia has been struggling to push back a Ukrainian incursion. So this thing can go down any given day, right? I want to make this quick point as well. There's another source that's out there that's saying that Russia, they've been testing nuclear missiles. They're doing nuclear missile drills over in the Bering Strait region. Now, if you know where the Bering Strait is at, it's essentially a gulf of water, a body of water that's connected it's right between Russia and Alaska. Now, 2 weeks ago, 2 Shabbats ago, really, during Tabernacles, I had a dream. I broke it down to brothers about this dream, and it's not to big up the dream or nothing like that, but nevertheless, in the dream, there was a national alert that popped up on the screens, and it was saying that there was a situation that took place in Alaska, and that you need to run to shelters and find shelter immediately. So today, when I come across this news that Russia is preparing for a nuclear drill, or it's like a nuclear attack by NATO over in the Bering Strait, which is right near Alaska, and you start to see North Korea, they're doing our testing. They just did a test an hour ago. They sent in 10,000 troops. You can see that this thing is not too much. It's not too far away, right? I'm not the Most High, but I don't see it through the spirit of it being 10, 20 more years. So you really got to keep watch and really be mindful of the different prophecies that the Most High is unfolding in the earth. But you got it, King.
Come. And let me pull this up real quick. These so things are heating up. I don't know. Was I sharing screen up?
No, I was.
Okay, come on. Begin there.
Con, you good now, King?
Come on. So these things are heating up, you know, and you know, this is from Breitbart. They're not too they're a little biased, but you know, they're this is a legit story that they're reporting on. Now, it says proxy war. South Korea to prepare countermeasures against North Korea and Ukraine. So the brother he mentioned it, you know, Russia or North Korea, they sent around 10,000 troops to Russia. And the United States and South Korea, if I'm not too mistaken, no, they are warning that there could be more sent over, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so that's no small deal. What we're looking at, like we keep harping on, you know, we've been harping on it for the past couple months, is that this is war. This is an act of war, an act of the size formulating, and what World War III coming to play, man. You know, Russia is linking up with North Korea, you know, to fight against Ukraine. You know, and then man, North Korea, they might link up with Russia, might send 15,000 over, and then they go take over South Korea. You know, they go march over the borders and do what they wanted to do for this whole time. You know, then they might send what should we call it? They might send 30,000 North Korean and Russian troops to China, and they go take over Taiwan. You know, this thing is heating up, man. So you know, sides are being formed. You know, and they're being formed quickly, man. You know, and they're linking up and clicking up. And, you know, it's all according to prophecy. So let's read it. South Korea to prepare countermeasures against North Korea war in Ukraine. It says South Korean President Yoon Suk, I'm not saying his name right. President Yoon Suk Yeol said Tuesday that his government is preparing countermeasures in response to evidence of a growing North Korean presence in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, demanding of his cabinet a heightened sense of vigilance. Now, countermeasures, we don't know what, you know, it might say in the article, but, you know, what countermeasures can you provide, man? You know, North Korea, they have been known to be a country that does what they want to do, that don't listen. They're not a part of UN. They're not a part of any, you know, global or I'll say this, not even global, Western ideology group, you know, that follows the idea, the so-called West, that follows the ideas of Babylon and what they say to do. They've always been opposite to that. You know, they move on their own accord. So the countermeasures, you know, you question, you say, what are they? Because you're going to have to march down there with guns and tell them to stop doing it, man. You know, what's that going to lead to? Let's keep reading. He made the comments after holding a phone conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday, in which the Ukrainian leader said the two agreed to intensify contacts at all levels and cooperate to limit North Korean influence in the war. Let's jump down a little bit. This is the point. It says military cooperation between Russia and North Korea poses a distinct threat and grave challenge to the peace and security on the Korean Peninsula and in Europe. Now, the Korean Peninsula will be, you know, South Korea, and then Europe here will be Ukraine. You know, but this thing is going to spread, man. You know, if Russia and North Korea, they link up, you know, who's going to be next to join them, man? You know, I said before, you got China, man. You know, China might be the next. Iran might be the next. You know, these things, you know, it's not a small thing. This is the small action that's going to lead to a bigger action, man. You know, a bigger reaction. You know, like I said, I won't be surprised if China joins them soon. You know, and then it's going to be a real damn problem for NATO. Problem for the West. Let's keep reading. North Korea is clearly a menace to the international society. I hope that Russia will sensibly decide which side, the South or the North, is more important and necessary for its own interests. And you know, Russia knows that North Korea is better for their own interests. You know, it doesn't take a damn scientist to realize that. You know, what's the saying in the world? They say an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
You know, if I'm correct, calm. So, you know, they know that the South is buddy with America. Why would they be friends with them? You know, they need another enemy of America, which would be the North Korea. And now they became friends. Now they became on the same side because they had the same goal of being an adversary to America. Let's keep reading. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has undertaken a foreign policy that has distanced Pyongyang, I believe the capital of North Korea, from its traditional colonial authority, Communist China, and forged closer ties to Russia. The policy yielded a major win for Kim in June when strongman Vladimir Putin agreed to sign a mutual defense agreement with North Korea, a deal that many believe prompted the deployment of potentially thousands of North Korean troops to Europe. The South Korean National Intelligence Service, NIS, said on Tuesday that it estimates North Korea has deployed 3,000 soldiers to Russia for training and fighting in Ukraine. The agency also reportedly predicted that Russia would send North Korean generals into battlefield zones in Ukraine in the near future. So this thing is heating up, man. You know, now we're seeing the first I'll say formal act of the adversaries of America joining up in a military effort against another, man. You know, I'll say it's the first formal one. You know, that we see, and we you know, our eyes light up. I mean, we say that's it right there, man. That could be it, right here. Because when Russia, you know, when North Korea sends it over to Russia, and you know they help Russia with Ukraine, you know, Russia's going to send some over to North Korea. You know, they can hit them on both sides, man, and have America have to choose. Do you want to go help South Korea, or do you want to go help Ukraine? You know, it might happen, man. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe when we was going over the ways the Roman Empire, you said what up?
It's a spirit. I was literally thinking that. That's one of the ways that the Roman Empire fell, is that they were their military was quote unquote like stretched out too thin. Like they had different troops on different fronts, and it ultimately caused their military to collapse. What you gotta do.
Right, and that's the spirit, you know, and that's exactly what it is, man. You know, these things are gonna happen simultaneously. You know, like I said, I won't be surprised if China goes to invade Taiwan. When China sees that, they go and invade Taiwan, man. In America, they're gonna be obligated to go to each one of these countries, and they're gonna be spread thin, man. And it's gonna be too much, you know, and they're gonna be overwhelmed because these are nations that they're gathering together. You know, in America, you know, they're gonna be it's gonna be too much for them, man. You know, and they're gonna eventually lose power and fold. Let's keep reading. And right here, you know, and look, we're not choosing no sides. You know, we want them all destroyed. But this is madness. It says this illegal military cooperation between Russia and North Korea. And how is this illegal? For one part, is there anything illegal in war, man? That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. How is this illegal? By whose authority, man? And this is the number one reason, or one of the reasons why Russia and North Korea are against America, because this is the authority of America, man, saying it's illegal. You know, we know it's the South Korean president or whatever, but he got his playbook and his the things he says from America themselves, man. You know, it's not illegal for them to join up, man. One is Bible prophecy, and two, it's not illegal. You know, this it's not. By whose authority, man? Who made America the governors of the world, man? And the law and the what they call it, the law and the I forgot the word. Judge and jury. I believe that's what they say. The judge and jury of military cooperation. Who made America that?
Right.
Well, let's keep reading. It says this illegal military cooperation between Russia and North Korea is a significant security threat to the international community, which he's correct on, is a big serious a security threat and could pose a serious risk to our national security. You said, with the war in Ukraine going on for 3 years, North Korea has deployed troops to Russia beyond providing weapons. We must thoroughly assess all possibilities and prepare countermeasures. I urge everyone to engage in risk management with a heightened sense of vigilance, the president told his cabinet, according to the South Korean Yonhap news agency. So yeah, so this is it's getting real in this thing, man. You know, it's getting real, and these nations are starting to join together, and sides are starting to be formulated. You know, sides are starting to be formulated, and people are starting to. Well, I'm not going to say people. I say nations. They're starting to move pieces on the chessboard. You know, America, they're not moving right now. They're not making. They're waiting to see who's going to make the move, but they're making some serious moves, man. You know, and America, if brothers and sisters, they play chess, man. America's just moving the king back and forth. You know, yeah, they're moving the bishop, the rook. They got the knight going on. You know, they're trying to go for the king, and the king, America's got the king moving back and forth. Let's see what they do. Back and forth. Look, they're gonna go for that king, man. And it's gonna be all praise to the Most High, because you know, that's it. You know, that's it. You know, and that'll be the end of this kingdom. You know, so look, that's you know, that's a serious move, and that's why it came on the title of this Watchman Wednesday of North Korea sending troops to Russia. That's a serious move. It's nothing to scoff about. They say, what are they gonna do? But that's all I got on that, King.
Con. I'm gonna get this precept. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." So the north country to Babylon, or even the north country to the modern day Babylon, right, will be Russia. So this north country will be Russia in this context right here. It says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her." So there is an assembly of nations that's gathered with Russia. In the scripture in Revelation, the 16th chapter, these are known as the kings of the East. Russia, Iran, Ukraine, it's like not Ukraine, Turkey will be involved, China, right, and North Korea. These are the modern day kings of the East. Let's read on. It says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows," which is the modern day missiles, "shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So the Lord is going to allow these nations to spoil America. Again, because of all the hypocrisy, all the evil, all the crimes. They try to put sanctions on these other nations and charge them with war crimes and things of that nature. But what America has been doing that since its damn inception. Just a hypocritical nation, just evil. And it's about time they take it out the earth. Checkmate, like the brother was going into. Right? Let me get this in Ezekiel. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, in verse 4. It says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. So all of the army, the horses, the horsemen, meaning what? The fighter jets, the airplane pilots, them going into flying their stealth bombers. We was out there. I don't know if it was held at the harbor or
I know what you're talking about. It was
the Flag Day.
Flag Day. We went out to Baltimore.
Madness. Yeah. If you was there, if you know what we're talking about, but if you wasn't there, Baltimore Flag Day, they was flying their there wasn't their top jets, but they was flying some damn high tech aircraft, and it was like, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if they were stealth bombers, but they was in there moving very quickly and doing all types of damn arrangement in the sky. And the Most High is saying, look, they're gonna have all that in that day. They're gonna bring those fighter jets. They're gonna bring those bombers. They're gonna bring those B-52s, those F-18s, those F-22s, those Raptor jets. They're gonna have all of that, and guess what? They're gonna be destroyed. Let's read on. It says, clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So the nation's going to have what they got. America's going to have what they have. It's going to be the West versus the East. And guess what? We know who's going to win, right? Russia's going to be the last Edomite nation in stands right before we overthrow them. And this is actually going into Ezekiel, the 38th and 39th chapter, which is just shortly after we're in the wilderness and we go overthrow them. Right, that's what's going to take place. That's the very last battle that will take place before our kingdom is established in the earth. But nevertheless, you know, we brought out a lot of articles. Most High willing, you was being real diligent in checking these things out, taking down the precepts, taking down the notes, because there's a lot going on. There's one more thing I want to bring up right before I pass it back to you, King. I want to get this because like we were just going into, North Korea, or South Korea. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me pull this. I just looking up this while you was going into that last article. There we go. I got it right here. So I'm gonna share my screen. Now, if you aren't already checking this out, you know, definitely go follow the official WFI12 Twitter account. Right, there's another account that we had that's not the current account. Right, this is the official one. We try to repost a lot, but nevertheless, checking this out, it says Yoon, which is a guy of South Korea, I believe their leader, he calls for a strong response after North Korea's intercontinental ballistic launch. So it don't seem like they're going to take this thing lightly. You know, we just talked about it. They just did their nuclear test. You know, they just launched the test. But America condemns it, and now we seeing even Japan has condemned it because it's threatening the security of South Korea and Japan, as well as the South Korean leader calling for a strong response. And America's in our back pocket. I mean, if you didn't know, all the chips that America gets is coming from two places, and these chips are for, you know, their computers, phones, everything in the so-called, you know, technological American world right now. So you got a lot of stuff that they get from South Korea and China. It's like South Korea and Japan, right? They get things from China as well, but chiefly they have a stronghold over South Korea and Japan, and that's why they're so strongly militarily tied to these places, because again, these are they're in their pockets. Right, South Korea. If you have a lot of these iPhones, a lot of their screens and whatnot is made by Samsung, which is over in South Korea. Right, if you didn't know that, a lot of other things like I mentioned, there's a whole war, a chip war going on between who can control Japan and who can control even Taiwan and who can control damn Hong Kong. This is very big things that's going on behind the scenes. And that's why America is tied in with a lot of these smaller countries, right? But I wanted to touch on that, right? Bring that out. Someone asked a quick question, what day is the new moon? Hey, that's tomorrow night at sundown. Really tonight at sundown, because it's the next day. So Thursday night at sundown to Friday night at sundown. That's the new moon, right? It's a double Shabbat, so prepare accordingly. You got anything else you want to bring out, King?
Get my closing.
Come
This book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And I'm gonna start at verse 8. I'll start at verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." So we have to remember that this world that we're living in is polluted. Spiritually is polluted. There's a lot of wickedness going on, and America is being judged for that wickedness, man. America is finito. That is finished. The Lord has his judgment set out, and there's no taking it back. So we have to remember these things and to continue to push forward towards the end, so we don't receive the same destruction that America receives, and we can receive the everlasting kingdom. Let's keep reading. It says, "Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more, as touching the wickedness which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." And in this captivity, you should be complaining continually, man. You should be crying out to the Lord. You shouldn't be dwelling in America happy, secretly wishing for 10 more years of America. I can't wait till I get this new promotion, 10 years. I might get a house, and I might get to live the American dream with the white picket fence and, the dog in the big backyard. We're not worried about that. And you as an Israelite, you shouldn't be worried about that either. You should be worried about getting the help out of it, man. Not in the same spirit as those wicked Israelites that left Israel in the wilderness and complaining all damn day. Or not Israel, that left Egypt and were in the wilderness and were complaining all damn day, man. Complaining about how they ain't had the same food they had in Egypt. Don't be that type of Israelite, man. See these things, understand through destruction comes our salvation. As Wisdom of Solomon, I believe the 18th chapter in verse 7. Let me get that real quick. Salaki, let me get that real quick. We have to understand with the fall of America comes the uprising of Israel, man. So Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 7. "So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous." So the salvation of Israel that wants to keep the laws, man. That has the faith of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's accepted on one end. But on the other end is this. "And destruction of the enemies, for wherewith thou did punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us whom thou hast called." So through them being destroyed and being punished, we get glorified and saved, man. But in that same stance, the kingdom that right now that we're living in, that we're not taking part of, but we're living in, it has to be destroyed as well, man. Because why? It's their kingdom. So see these things and don't get upset. Don't say, "Man, I wish it had to be like this." Get excited and know that your salvation is coming closer, man. Your kingdom is coming closer. So let's finish it out in 2 Ezra 15. It says, "And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them." Let's jump down. Verse 11. Oh, sorry, I'll just keep reading. "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt." So we're getting out here soon, man. And keep that in the back of your mind. And in the front too. Let's keep reading. It says, "But I will bring them out. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." And these plagues is not just talking about COVID. These plagues are plagues of spirits, plagues of dissension, plagues of sedition, plagues of separation, men not wanting to parties of people not wanting to associate with each other anymore. Democrats saying, "I don't want to associate with the Republicans." Republicans saying the same way. our families being split. One's voting for here, one's voting for there. People fighting in the streets. Hey, these are plagues in itself, man. Plagues from the Lord, man. Plagues of the spirit that the Lord says he's going to use to destroy America. But that's all I got, King. You got it.
All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Con, I'm going to get this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 13. Right? It's Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. I'll start at verse 12. It says, take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you, and it's like an evil heart of unbelief, in departing from the living God. So we got to take heed that although we bringing out these things that the Most High is putting on the earth, and we letting you know what the Most High is going to have happen next on the earth, if you don't believe in the Most High, then this is unprofitable. There'll be no point of you worrying about the destruction that's happening when your heart isn't right. We want to make sure our heart is right and it's sincere, and we're calling upon Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and we hope to be changed. Right? You have belief in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, reading on. It says, but exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So we want to be mindful that sin doesn't get a hold of our mind and our heart and beguile us and turn us out the way. A lot of things is happening in the earth, but guess what? If your heart isn't right, then you're going to be caught up in that. And that's for myself included. That's for your Tazmak included. For all the mighty brothers that make videos and leaders and teachers and evangelists and apostles and preachers. You understand? That's for all of you. Reading on. It says, verse 14, for we are made partakers of a Mashiach, and we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast until the end. So you got to hold this thing until the end. You can't give up in the last hour. You had a football player. He just is reported that he was in the football game and he's off. But he was out there. I think he was a quarterback. He's a quarterback of the Colts. The damn
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. He caught a timeout. He ran on the sideline. They told him, hey, get back in the game. He said, nah, I'm tired. Well, what the hell you mean you tired? They spent millions of dollars on you for you to be the guy, and you calling a timeout because you're tired. You try to sit down on the bench. The point is, it don't be that brother in this truth. You tired, you calling a spiritual timeout. There's no spiritual timeouts. There's no spiritual timeouts. You can't be going back, brother. There's no going back, sister. Right? You in this thing. That's all. Right? But let me read that again. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, and verse 14. For we are made partakers of a Mashiach, and we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast until the end. So we got to be steadfast until the end. I'm going to jump down, though, to the point. Verse 17. It says, well, I'll read on, actually. Verse 15. While it is said today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? Here's the point. And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they cannot enter in because of unbelief. So all those that won't make it in the chariots is because of the unbelief. When you believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you'll keep watch. When you believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you'll keep the commandments. You'll repent. You'll keep going. Your candlestick won't go out in the night. So most are willing, you all keep watch, right? And we continue to endure in these last days. You have anything else you're talking about?
Nah.
So with that, of course, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shem Mashiach Malaki Washai. This is Brother Kasadi from WFI Jersey, Philly.
Brother Yatazamak.
Kwame Yasharala. Keep watching these last days. Shalom.
Shalom.